Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Graykowski, creator of the Better Brain Blueprint and the founder of this Mastermind Alliance. Welcome to this fireside chat. At the end of each week, I'm going to be summarizing some of the answers to the questions that we get from people that are involved with the Mastermind. We have over 300 different healthcare professionals, not only from our own country, Canada, Europe, Australia, that are participating in this Mastermind, but we get questions from our Mastermind group itself. A lot of them are patients that I take care of personally, or maybe patients from some of the other doctors that are involved in this Mastermind. So there's 3 questions this week that all kind of have the same theme, so I'm going to answer them. One of them has to do with kids and brain development, dealing with attention deficit. The other one has to do with what do we need to do as far as during pregnancy or even the first year of life for a child to make sure that their brain is developing properly. And then the big question is, how does a teenage brain differ from these other aspects of development, and what can we do to allow the development of the teenage brain, but also reduce some of the stresses? First off, just to let you know, I have 3 kids and they do make it through their teenage years. I have a couple of them in their 30s, one in the late 20s. And what's great is if you follow some of the things that I'll be sharing, they do actually get through those teenage years when their limbic system, that middle part of their brain, the emotional brain, is going crazy. So what happens in the early development, we have a thing called this gray matter. Gray matter is our brain, and it's the inner parts of the brain that is not myelinated, which is called the white matter. The white matter is the part that starts to connect, and that really, that white matter starts to get more and more involved as we go through our years. At about age 10 or 12, our limbic system, our middle brain, starts to take in, and our hormones start to go crazy. That's also when our myelination, or that white matter, starts to lay down more coverings around the nerves themselves. The white matter is very important in development. That's why I'm bringing this up, because the white matter is this fatty sheath that is around the nerves themselves. This white matter allows the brain to function about 100 times quicker than normal, and allows the communication between the gray matter and the white matter to be up to 3,000 times faster. So if we have the proper nutrition and the proper input in our nervous system in those early years, it can help not only reduce stresses on the child's developing brain, their hormonal system, and also their ability to understand and learn and critical thinking as they get older. I think in today's world, kids get locked into looking at computer games, cell phones, and they get locked into this little process of what's right in front of them. I think it's very important to make sure that your kids are looking at the bigger picture of the world also. Having them out in nature, studies show that it is important to get out where you can have a bigger field of vision. Out in nature is one of the best places because they can run their energy off, and it also allows for their brain development to take in more sensory and motor development. Little kids up to about age 10 or 12, the part of their brain, the gray matter, their sensory and their motor system is developing very much, and then it starts to kick into some of the hormonal systems at adolescence. So I want to take it back a step for those that are participating in the Better Brain Mastermind, and we use the acronym TEAM. So it's how they're thinking, how they're eating, what action steps and adjustments are they doing, and how are they moving their body. So as far as the thinking aspects, as the adult, as the person taking care of the child, it's important to make sure that they are putting good information into their brain, trying to reduce some of the effects of the negative things that we see on television or in movies. So that is really important because our brain is a memory organ. It'll see that and it'll kick into that same pace, and kids will be more hyperactive. We tell parents that not only we want to look at what they're putting into their brain, but they're eating. The 2 things that are really important for kids is to make sure they have a good healthy gut, their probiotics, the normal gut bacteria that helps in brain function. It helps in the development of serotonin, which is a brain transmitter. But we also have to look at what are we eating as far as making sure we have the nutrients for that development of the white matter. And that's where your omega-3 oils come into play. So the 2 things I'd recommend is really look at what are we putting into our brain, and what are we eating? Making sure that supplementation of a mother during pregnancy with omega-3 oils helps in the development of the fetus. Adding omega-3s to the mom during the breastfeeding is critical for the development of the brain. Adding supplementation when a child gets old enough to get the DHA and the EPA, those omega-3 oils for development of the brain, reduce the inflammation. Kids crave sugars, and sugars are inflammatory. Omega-3s reduce the inflammatory process. A lot of things where the brain is firing off, attention deficit, lack of focus, a lack of memory, are byproducts of the brain not firing off appropriately, and it can be an inflammatory process. So omega-3 oils are very important, not only for the mother during the fetus development, during the breastfeeding, during the early childhood, and teenagers. Very much important for the development of the brain. If you look at the diet of teenagers, it's fast foods, and they're really just eating, and they've got that hypersensitive emotional brain kicking in. So supplementation of omega-3 oils is also very important for the development of the myelin, that white matter for higher cognition, higher brain, and better memory. It also calms down a lot of the effects of the hormones going up and down. If you have the omega-3 oils, which are baseline products for a lot of our hormones, it allows the brain to get the appropriate balance. And then we also talked about our gut bacteria. The gut is finding more and more, if we don't have a healthy gut and healthy bacteria in the digestive tract, the serotonin and some of the brain transmitters, glutamate, dopamine, these can throw a person into anxiety or depression. So the two things I would highly recommend from some of the questions this week, as far as what should I supplement and how can we take care of kids, is make sure that what are they putting in their brain, what are they ingesting or eating, make sure that we're looking at a probiotic and a good omega-3 oil to get into your diet, but also making those adjustments, to realize that as the adult, that they will grow through these stages. Their brain is at that hyperactive point where they want to test the limits. They want to turn their hair blue and not wear their helmet while riding skateboards, but they will outgrow it because the adult brain goes through this process and things level out. But during the phase of development, omega-3 oils and a good healthy gut is very important. And then make sure that you're putting movement. If they're locked in, they're not moving, the brain is not getting its stimulation. So get them out in nature, get them in sports, get them in activities so that we're thinking better, that we're eating the appropriate foods, we're making those adjustments to the lifestyle, and we're moving on a daily basis. Thank you for being part of this mastermind group. The reason we're doing this is because this large group of non-drug doctors are tired of our kids being medicated and actually putting toxins in the body that's affecting their overall brain health and development. We're in an epidemic time, so make sure that you're asking questions. If you're part of the Better Brain Mastermind group, make sure that you go to join us so you can get updates on the private Mastermind page. Like us on your Facebook page. Share it with other friends. Make sure this is not a closed process. We want to have more and more people understanding that it's not about your medication. It's not about some drug or technology that's going to change your overall health. It's about you making different decisions using your brain at a much higher level. I look forward to talking to you more during this mastermind, and keep leaving questions so we can answer them. This is Dr. Bob. Have a great rest of your day.